Shabbat Shalom. Please stand. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkanotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkanotecha Yisrael. Va'ani barov chastecha avo beitecha elcha kaveh el hechol kodshecha b'yiratecha ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkanotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkanotecha Yisrael. Va'ani tefilati lecha Adonai et ratzon Elohim barov chastecha aneni bemet yishecha ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkanotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkanotecha Yisrael. Please be seated. Eternal God, a mystery surrounds my life. What came before it and what lies beyond it are shrouded in darkness. But in the darkness is your presence, and in the mystery, your love. No mind can grasp the splendor of your being, no tongue express the majesty of your works. Yet there are times when we sense a reality that is beyond our mortal sight. May this Sabbath be such a time for us. Help us to hear your voice, to find your image in our souls, and to be at peace. Elohai neshama shneshama tabi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shnatata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shnata tabi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shnata tabi tehorahi. neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. My God, the soul you have given me is pure, for if you have created and formed it and breathed it into me, and you sustain it within me, so long as there is a soul within me, I will give thanks to you, Eternal One, my God, and God of my ancestors, sovereign of all worlds, guide of every human soul. We praise you, O God, in whose hands are the souls of the living and the spirits of all flesh. Baruch Shema v'haya ha'olam baruch hu. Praised be the one at whose command the world came to be. We praise you, our God, sovereign of the universe, worshipped by your people, lauded and glorified by those who love and serve you. With songs of praise we extol you and proclaim your sovereignty, sole source of the life of all worlds. We praise you, sovereign God, to whom all praise is due. This liturgical poem written by Judah Halevi about 1,000 years ago. To you the stars of morning sing. From you their radiance bright did spring, and steadfast in their vigils, day and night, your angels, flooded with fervour, ring your praise. They teach the holy ones to bring into your house the breath of early light. The heavens declare the glory of God. Day unto day utters speech. And there is no speech, there are no words. And still their call goes out to all the earth. God's teaching is perfect. God's word is unfailing. God's precepts are right. God's commandments are clear. God's doctrine is pure. God's guidance is true. They are more to be desired than gold, than any amount of fine gold. Your servant pays heed to them. Who is aware of errors? Hold back your servant also from willful sins. Then I shall be blameless. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. And another Piyut liturgical poem, this time an Ashkenazi one, from Shir HaKavod, the Song of Glory, which actually has about 31 different verses, most of them of which form an acrostic, so it starts with each letter of the Hebrew alphabet. The verses that they've selected here are the ones at the beginning that don't. Anim zmirat v'shirim erok, ki elecha nafshi ta'arok, nafshi chemda b'tzel yadecha, l're'a et korah sodecha. Midei dabri kvodecha, home libi el dodecha, ye'arav nasichi alecha, ki nafshi tarok elecha. And we turn to page 135, and please rise. 135. Praise be your name, eternal God, in heaven and on earth. To you, our God and God of our ancestors, let hymns and psalms be sung. To you all praise and thanks are due, from now and forever. We praise you, O God. May accept our songs of praise. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Baruch hu et Adonai, Hamavora, Baruch Adonai, Hamavora, Hamavora, Leolam Vaed. Hamavora, Hamavora, Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. We praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe, Maker of light and Creator of darkness, Author of peace and Creator of all things. In your mercy you give light to the earth and all who live on it. In your goodness you renew creation continually, day by day. How manifold are your works, O God! With wisdom you have made them all. The world is full of your creations. Your handiwork proclaims your praise. The radiant stars bear witness to your glory. We praise you, O God, Creator of light. And let's read together. Great is your love for us, eternal God, and abundant your compassion. Our ancestors trusted in you, and you taught them the laws of life. So be gracious to us and teach us. Incline our hearts to hear your words, to know and understand, to learn and teach, and with love to uphold the truths of your Torah. Enlighten us with your teaching, make us faithful to your commandments, and wholehearted in the love and awe of your name. For in love you summon us to serve you and proclaim your unity. We praise you, O God. In love you have called your people Israel to serve you. Please rise. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol lavavecha, v'chol nafshecha, v'chol ma'odecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'ileh, asher anachim mitzavacha hayom, al lavavecha. V'shinantam vonecha, v'dirtam shvam. V'shivtecha b'veitecha, v'aleftecha v'derech, v'shavtecha v'kumecha. V'kshertam liot al yadecha, v'hayu letotefot bein einecha, v'chtatam al mezuzot beitecha, ובשעריך, למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Please be seated. Good and beautiful and true, sound, established and enduring are these words, now and forever. True it is, Eternal One, that you are our sovereign God and Redeemer, as you were the God and Redeemer of our ancestors. You are our Maker, the rock of our salvation. We have known you always as our helper and our liberator. There is no God but you. Truly, you are first and you are last. We have no Redeemer but you. You redeemed us from Egypt, freed us from the house of bondage. Then with great joy, Moses, Miriam, and all Israel together sang to you this song.
To Israel, Kuma Bezrat Israel, Goaleinu Adonai, Tvaot Shemo, Kadosh Israel, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ya Israel, Ya Israel, Israel. Please rise. Adonai Sefatai Tiftach Ufia Gitahilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon. Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Koneh Hakol, v'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imaot. V'Yi Gula l'Bnei v'Nehem, B'Yaman Shemo B'Hava. Melech Ozer u'Moshia Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Ta Gibor le'olam Adonai, Machayei Meitim atav Rav Lahoshia. Ashiv HaRuach u'Morid HaGeshem, אז ריח השמש ומוריד הטל. מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחדש המתים. לחדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך. קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו, כבודו מלא עולם. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. ממקומך מלכנו תופיע ותמלוך עלינו, כי מחכים אנחנו לך. ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך קדושתך נקדיש. ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך קדושתך נקדיש. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. בשבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לא ימוש לעולם ועד. בשבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated. You inspired our ancestors to hallow this day for your service. When, upon its coming, we pause to contemplate our life, we learn anew that we do not live by bread alone, but also by the spiritual nourishment we receive when we open ourselves to your influence. We thank you for the Sabbath day and for the opportunity it offers to enhance the quality of our lives. We thank you for its joy and for its peace. May our worship help us to take into our hearts its message of holiness and consecrate all our days by devotion to what is true, beautiful, and good. Yismachu b'malchutcha, Yismachu b'malchutcha, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg, Amekarshe Shavi, Amekarshe Shavi, Kulam Yispahu v'yitagu mituvecha, v'hashavi, v'hashavi, ratzita bo, v'kidashto, chemdat yamim, chemdat yamim, oto karata, zechel maseh v'reishit. And let us read together
Our God and God of our ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us by your commandments, make us loyal to your teaching. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. Regardless of our eternal one, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its priests. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of the Sabbath. Eternal God, be gracious to your people Israel, and in your love accept their prayers. May our worship now and always be acceptable in your sight. We praise you, O God, whom alone we worship in reverence. We read together, we give thanks that you, Eternal One, are our God, as you were the God of our ancestors. You are the rock of our life, power that shields us in every age. We thank and praise you for our lives, which are in your hand, for our souls, which are in your keeping, for the signs of your presence we encounter every day, and for your wondrous gifts at all times, morning, noon, and night. Praise you, God, source of goodness, to whom all thanks are due. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amecha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Let me take a few moments for some silent prayer. Say shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom. Ya'aseh Shalom. Ya'aseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom. Ya'aseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom. Ya'aseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom. Ya'aseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol bnei Adam. Great. We now come to the Torah service, at which point I also remember I haven't managed to arrange any mitzvot. So I need a couple. Yes, would you like to open the ark? The Brandon family. Choose between yourselves. All of you can come up. Yes, and there will also be Haftarah. So I don't know if one of you is happy to read the Haftarah. I can. I'm sure we'll come on to that. Okay, we're on page 490. 490. Assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities, to hear and learn to revere the Eternal One your God, and observe faithfully all the precepts of this Torah. And let their children, who do not yet know it, hear that they too may learn to revere the Eternal One your God. Please rise. The Ha'enenu, the Torah Techa, mitzvotecha, v'yaked levaveinu, v'yachara u'yira et shemecha. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Gadlu Adonai iti, unaramama shemo yachdav. Okay. Yeah, hear everyone. Okay, yeah. Oh, yes, okay. Well, if they, yeah, you want to, yeah. Al shlosha devarim. Al shlosha devarim. Shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, olam, olam, omer. HaTorah, Ya'avodah, Al-Gemilut Asadim. HaTorah, Ya'avodah, Al-Gemilut Asadim. Shlosha devarim, al shlosha Please be seated. This is the Shabbat is Shabbat Kitavo, and we shall be reading the first 11 verses of that parashah. It's Deuteronomy chapter 26. If you would like to follow it in the Plout, it is on page 1508. Baruch et Adonai Hamorach. Baruch Adonai Hamorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai. Baruch Hamorach. Is this not? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah. Yeah. V'haya ki tavo el haaretz asher Adonai Elohecha notein lecha nachala v'yirishta v'yashavta ba. When you enter the land that God is giving you as a heritage, and you possess it and settle in it, v'lakachta merishta kol pri ha'adama asher tavi me'artsecha asher Adonai Elohecha notein lach v'samta b'teneh v'chachalta el hamakom asher yivcha Adonai Elohecha l'shakein shemo sham. You shall take some of every first fruit of the soil which you harvest from the land that your God is giving you. Put it in a basket and go to the place where your God will choose to establish the divine name. Uvata el hakohen asher Adonai b'yamim hahem v'amata elav hagadati hayom la'Adonai Elohecha ki vati el haaretz asher nishba Adonai la'avotenu latet lanu. You shall go to the priest in charge at that time and say to him, I acknowledge this day before your God that I have entered the land that the Eternal swore to our fathers to assign us. V'lakach hakohen hateneh miyadecha v'necho lifnei mitzvach Adonai Elohecha. The priest shall take the basket from your hand and set it down in front of the altar of your God. V'anita v'amarta lifnei Adonai Elohecha Arami oved avi v'yered mitzrayma v'yaga sham bimtei ma'am v'hisham logoy gadol atzum v'rav. You shall then recite as follows before your God. My father was a fugitive Aramean. Anyone recognise? Yeah. He went down to Egypt with meagre numbers and sojourned there. But there he became a great and very populous nation. V'yaru otanu hamitzrayim v'yanunu v'yitnu aleinu avodah kasha. The Egyptians dealt harshly with us and oppressed us. They imposed heavy labour upon us. V'nitzak el Adonai Elohei avotenu v'yishma Adonai el kolenu v'yar et anenu v'et amalenu v'et lachatzenu. We cried to the Eternal, the God of our ancestors, and God heard our plea and saw our plight, our misery, and our oppression. ויוציאנו אדוני ממצרים, ביד חזקה ובזרוע נשויה ובמורא גדול ובאותם ובמופתים. God freed us from Egypt by a mighty hand, by an outstretched arm and awesome power, and by signs and portents. ויבאנו אל המקום הזה, וייתן לנו את הארץ הזאת, ארץ זבת חלב ודבש. Bringing us to this place, giving us this land, a land flowing with milk and honey. ועתה הנה חוויתי את ראשית פרי האדמה אשר נתת לי אדוני והנחתו לפני אדוני אלוהיך והשתחווית לפני אדוני אלוהיך. Wherefore I now bring the first fruits of the soil which you, the Eternal, have given me. You shall leave it before your God and bow low before your God. ושמחת בכל הטוב אשר נתן לך אדוני אלוהיך ולביתך אתה והלוי והגר אשר בקרבך. And you shall enjoy, together with the family of the Levite and the stranger in your midst, all the bounty that your God has bestowed upon you and your household. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי העולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. And anyone for Hagbah? Anyone would like to lift the scroll? Oh, it's very lopsided. I'll do it. Okay. I've had the training course.
Unless you really want to try.
Okay. Please rise. Baruch shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Please be seated. Now it's time for someone can if you come back and dress the scroll, and someone also to read the Haftarah.
Yes, probably.
We'll need this. So I'll give it to someone. One. In the meantime, the Haftarah is Isaiah 60. I can introduce it on this Shabbat, which is the 6th after Tisha B'Av. The prophecy continues. The 7 Haftarot of consolation. And this, and consolation is the main thrust of the Haftarah. So in the other part of the Torah reading, there was quite a bit of discussion about blessings and curses. And this is, the Haftarah is a counterweight to that. The Haftarah lifts the gloom with a depiction of Israel's future glory. So Would anyone wish Joyce, you're happy? Oh, that'd be excellent. Thank you.
Is it here? Sorry, is it?
Yes, a bit funny how it goes. So it goes there, there. So it's the top bits of each page, and it goes from right to left. It's actually quite a long one. Maybe we'll just do the first two pages. Yeah.
What about the blessing?
And then, so we are on
You want the blessing for the Haftarah blessing first?
yes, 492 for the blessings.
We praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe. You inspired faithful prophets and took pleasure in the words they spoke in truth. We praise you, O God, for the gift of Torah, your servant Moses, your people Israel, and the prophets of truth and righteousness. And the Haftarah is from Isaiah chapter 60. Arise, shine, O Jerusalem, for your light has come. The glory of the Eternal is shining upon you. Though darkness may cover the earth, thick darkness, the peoples upon you, the Eternal will shine. Over you, God's presence will appear. Nations shall walk towards your light, and kings towards your sunrise. Raise your eyes and see. They are gathering, all of them. They are coming to you. Your sons shall come from afar, your daughters born securely. You shall see them and beam with joy. Your heart will thrill with pride. The sea's abundance shall shower you. The wealth of nations shall come your way. I can't. I want the thank you. For the Torah, for the privilege of worship, for the prophets, and for the Sabbath day, which you, eternal God, has given us for holiness and rest, for honor and beauty, for all these we offer thanks. May all the living come to praise your name forever. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of the Sabbath.
Thank you very much. Please rise. We are on page 493. Eternal God, whose dominion embraces the universe, we ask your blessing for our sovereign King Charles and all the royal family, for those who govern our country and all who influence the quality of its national life. Make them conscious of their responsibility and teach them to exercise it in accordance with your will. May we all help to fashion in this country a society that excels in freedom and justice, tolerance and compassion, so that it may be a force for righteousness and peace in the life of humanity. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless our brothers and sisters of the house of Israel, who enter synagogues to pray and to give aid to those in need. May the Holy One, to whom all the praise is due, hear their prayers and help them to fulfill their aspirations for good. And I'll pass to Rebecca, who's going to pray for Israel.
Okay, this is a slightly amended version from the one that's in the Siddur. Eternal God, our rock and redeemer, grant blessing to the state of Israel, created to fulfill an age-old dream and be a haven for the oppressed. Inspire its leaders and citizens with faithfulness to the aims of its founders, to develop the land for the benefit of all its inhabitants, and to implement the prophetic ideals of liberty and justice. send complete rescue and full redemption to those held captive since October the 7th, 2023. Strengthen their spirit and bring them our prayers that they may be protected from all harm and may return in wholeness of body and spirit. Grant wisdom to all that they may secure freedom for the captives without further loss of innocent lives, and an end to this tragic war, to allow all to live in safety, friendship, peace and freedom.
Yahalelu et Shem Adonai, ki niskav shemo levado. Hodu al eretz v'shamayim, v'yarehem kerem. L'chol hasidav, lifnei Yisrael, am karovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. And we also do this one. She'usirim rashechem, v'nisiku b'tchei olam, v'yavo melech hakavod, melech hakavod, mihu zeh melech hakavod, mihu zeh melech hakavod, Adonai mehu melech hakavod, Selah. This is the covenant I will make with the house of Israel in time to come, says the Eternal One. I will put my teaching within them and engrave it on their hearts. I will be their God, and they shall be my people. No longer shall anyone need to teach a friend or a neighbor to know me, for they all shall know me, young and old alike. One of my small pleasures in life is Wordle, which I play each day. I also play Nerdle, but we'll leave that for another day. It's the numbers version. In case you haven't shared the pleasure, you have 6 chances of guessing a 5-letter word each time you're told which letters are correct and are in the right place. There may be different versions of the one I play, but I play the one that's in the New York Times. And what they give you at the end is an assessment of how well you've done. It scores both your skill and your luck. And when you max out your skill score at 99, they don't do 100, you can't help feeling a bit smug. But of course, having exceptional skill isn't enough. You've got to have some luck. And that goes for a lot of things in life. All my children graduated in recent years with excellent qualifications. But no matter how impressive they are, how well communicated these are on the CV, they needed luck to find a job, to find the right job. Same goes more widely. All of us here today, living in southwest London, Surrey, an area in peace, with roofs on our heads, food in abundance, access to health and social care when we need it, access to the New York Times website. Who knows? We might have been born somewhere else in the world where this isn't the case. Sometimes we can fall into the trap of thinking our own good fortune is owed to us because we've worked for it. The danger with that is that we are less likely to give thanks for what we have. And that is harmful to our souls and detrimental to our impulse towards generosity. Psychologists have carried out a lot of research and found that being grateful makes us happier, more resilient, improves our self-esteem. We sleep better, lower blood pressure, less pain, and a greater desire for physical activity. And it's also proven to make us more compassionate, helpful, and kind. Gratitude is one of the traits of the soul identified in the Jewish tradition of Musa, a guide for spiritual development, fostering awareness, wisdom, and personal transformation. In Hebrew, the gratitude trait is called hakarot hatov, literally acknowledging the good. The Torah portion I just read is called kitavo, which means when you get there. It started with an obligation on the Israelites that when they get to and settle in the promised land, they are to bring some of the first fruits of the annual harvest to the priest and express gratitude for the land. In the first 3 verses alone, the Israelites are told no fewer than 3 times that God has given them the land, reminding them that the bountiful harvest that they've worked for would not be possible without the fertile land on which they toil. They are obligated to say to the priest, I acknowledge this day before the eternal your God that I have entered the land that the Eternal swore to our fathers to assign us. And then the donor recites the passage familiar to us in the Haggadah, my father was a wandering Aramaean. The acknowledgement ritual serves as a corrective to our natural tendency to take for granted or to take sole credit for what we have. The Dvar Torah would be incomplete without a midrash, so here goes. When the Israelites were crossing the parted Sea of Reeds, there were, of course, a couple of stragglers at the back, Reuben and Shimon, to be precise. They were complaining about the mud in the seabed. Reuben said, in Egypt we had mud, and now here too we have mud. In Egypt we have clay for bricks. Now here too we have an abundance of clay for bricks. So engrossed they were in the bickering about the mud that they failed to look up to see the walls of water had completely parted, making their safe passage possible. They completely missed the miracle of the parting of the Sea of Reeds because they were carping about the mud. It is important to put situations into perspective. Kitavo also expects us to express appreciation for our good fortune and recognize it is that which has brought us to where we are now, to avoid us becoming self-congratulatory. Acknowledging our blessings also helps us develop greater kindness and empathy towards others. Practicing hakarot hatov can shift our perspective from one of lack to one of abundance. And this feeling of being blessed with plenty, and our bounty is the product of the fertile soil on which we can toil, can turn our attitude of I deserve to I am fortunate. It hasn't always been like this. Look how far I've come with God's help. How can I share my blessings with others? Can you hear us? Right, we now turn to the concluding section of our service this morning, which is on page 520. Or we could do the other one. We'll do the other one, actually. No, I'm sorry. Very sorry. I'm going to ask you to turn to page 233. Is it? Or is it 13? 213. 213, yes, 213. For the poem that Rebecca has set to music that is on the on the theme of the Aleinu. And then all that has divided us will merge. And then compassion will be wedded to power. And then softness will come to a world that is harsh and unkind. And then both men and women will be gentle. And then both men and women will be strong. And then no person will be subject to another's will. And then all will be rich and free and varied. And then the greed of some will give way to the needs of many. And then all will share equally in the earth's abundance. And then all will care the sick and the weak and the old. And then all will nourish the young. And then all will cherish life's creatures. And then all will live in harmony with each other and the earth. And then everywhere will be called Eden once again. And now we turn back to page 522. As we worship before you, O God, we think of those who once shared with us the joys and burdens of life and who are no longer in our midst. The sorrow of bereavement is softened by the bond of love which continues to unite us with our dear ones and by our cherished memories of them, which we always carry in our hearts. Shabbat, as you think about Deborah, Brandon. We're also commemorating the anniversaries of the art sites of Victoria Edelstein, mother of Katia Ray, grandmother of Ben and Natasha, Betty Griffiths, grandmother of Naomi Enifer, Arnold Freeman, husband of Paul and Freeman. I can't remember. Did we do your mother the other week? Did we do your mother the other week? I can say her name again. Tina's mother, Liesl Johnson. I know, yeah. May all that was good in their lives remain with us as an influence for good. O God, grant consolation to those who are in sorrow and light to those in darkness. Teach us at all times to put out and trust in you and to praise your name. And together, please rise, as we say on page 524. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemer Rabba, v'yalmad yivarach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yamechon, u'v'chay dekol Beit Yisrael, v'aglav v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei Shemer Rabba, mavarach le'olam u'maymei maya. Yitbarach v'shtabach v'pipa'ah v'tromam v'tnaseh, v'tadar v'taleh v'talal Shemer kudsha berichu. Le'alam en kobrata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechimata, damiral b'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav, u'ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol b'nei adam v'imru amen. May the Most High, source of perfect peace, grant peace to us, to all Israel, and to all humanity. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated. Got any announcements? Do you want to come up and talk about
So
the...
very quickly, you will know about this, but just a reminder about our KLS Remembers on Monday the 7th of October, starting here at 7 p.m. for an evening of prayers and reflection and readings, testimonies from those of us who have family or friends that were directly impacted by the events of the 7th of October last year, and they will be followed by a chavra supper where we will be making the favourite recipes of the hostages. As you know, the recipe book is in the mosaic room, so if you have a look through that, select a recipe and bring that along for the chavra supper after the service.
We have a few. Wisley Go, if you're interested in going again, we're thinking about the last weekend in December, I think it's the 28th, 29th, to coincide with Hanukkah again. If you're interested, let me know. Last year we went for a meal afterwards, so that was really nice. We all got to socialize. Also, the supper quiz has been booked for November 23rd. More details to follow, but put in your calendars and look out for a link to participate.
Thank you. That's it. Obviously, we've got the... Sandra. Okay.
Just thank you for taking the service.
You're welcome.
Rebecca, and well, very good numbers. Thank you very much.
Thank you. High Holy Days, of course, coming up. All detailed services are in the bulletin of the appeal, and for any visitors, there's details about how to apply for tickets. We're now going to conclude with the Donna Lum, I suspect.
We can do ours.
Yeah, we can do.
Yeah, do ours.
I guess so. Why not? I'm also looking forward to it. 525 for Adonai. Adonai, Hashem Allah, Terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Le'et Nasa, V'chevtze Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, V'yacharei Kiklot HaKol, Levado, Yimloch Nora, V'hu Haya, V'hu Hoveh, V'hu Yeh B'tifara. Adonai
Don olam Hashem Allah b'terem kol yetzin ivra ve'et nasa v'chetz kol azay melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kiklot hakol levado yimloch nora v'hu haya v'hu hoveh v'hu yeh b'tifara Don olam Hashem Allah b'terem kol yetzin ivra ve'et nasa v'chetz kol azay melech shemo nikra acharei kiklot hakol levado yimloch nora v'hu haya v'hu hoveh v'hu tara v'hu haya v'hu hoveh v'tifara v'hu echad v'ein sheni l'hamshilo l'hakbira v'lireshi v'litachli v'lo ha'oz v'ha'loz v'ha'misra v'hu eli gaviati v'tzuhev li v'yet sarah v'hu nisi umanos li manat kosi b'yom ekra Don olam Hashem Allah b'terem kol yetzin ivra ve'et nasa v'chetz kol azay melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kiklot hakol levado yimloch nora v'hu haya v'hu hoveh hu yeh b'tifara Don olam Hashem Allah b'terem kol yetzin ivra ve'et nasa v'chetz kol azay melech shemo nikra acharei kiklot hakol levado yimloch nora v'hu haya v'hu hoveh b'tifara v'hu haya v'hu hoveh b'tifara B'yado Avkid Ruchi V'eti Sham V'ayra V'imruchi Gaviati Adonai li V'lo ira Don olam Hashem Allah b'terem kol yetzin ivra ve'et nasa v'chetz kol azay melech shemo nikra acharei kiklot hakol levado yimloch nora v'hu haya v'hu hoveh v'hu yeh b'tifara Don olam Hashem Allah b'terem kol yetzin ivra ve'et nasa v'chetz kol azay melech shemo nikra acharei kiklot hakol levado yimloch nora v'hu haya v'hu hoveh b'tifara v'hu haya v'hu hoveh b'tifara v'hu haya v'hu hoveh b'tifara Shalom. Yes. Please join us for Kiddush next.